This video is sponsored by Squarespace. I genuinely think this plant might cause a few problems. I hesitate to use the word scam. I don't know. I just want you guys to be really careful. So as some of you may know, there are an awful lot of Monstera deliciosa sports on the market now. Today's video is to highlight some of those sports and exercise a few words of caution, as well as highlighting some of my topics. Hello everybody, glad you could make it. My name is Kaylee Ellen and welcome to this video. Before we start, I may as well mention it because it's a Monstera video. I will move back. My merch is right here. It's available in the link in the description. This is a Monstera. It's based off traditional tattoo design and there's a couple of swords going through it and it's got a bit of a more distressed vibe. I will put a picture on the screen in case I did not do it justice. So recently, Pretty in Green did a really good guide on all of the Monstera sports that are about at the moment, along with prices, origins, and descriptions. You should really check it out. It's absolutely fantastic. Today, I want to pull a few examples from that guide and talk about them because I'm a teeny bit worried. And I want to give you some advice as a buyer in 2025. Now, I'm not saying don't buy the plants I mentioned today. I'm saying exercise some caution because a lot of these plants are probably one of the only types of plants at the moment that are making serious money. We're not in the climate we were between 2020 to 2022. A lot has changed. And yes, I'm aware, guys, this is based off US pricing, but it's what we have to go off. And I am going to use Pretty in Green's guide as gospel for the sake of this video. But of course, depending on where you are in the world, that could change. We're not going to go over everything because Pretty in Green made a tremendous amount of effort in putting this guide together. So please go and visit his channel. I will link both his channel in the description and the guide in the description. Go over, give him some love and give him a sub. Let's get into it. Right, so backstory. This guide has over 30 different types of Monstera sports. It's with a view to it being variegated. So if it's not variegated, you won't hear about it in this video. So we're going to start with Monstera Bulbasaur versus Monstera Viet Truong. I'm so sorry for my pronunciation, but it's not the point. So I'm going to show you a picture now of Monstera Bulbasaur. This has been kicking about recently, guys. A lot of you might be starting to hear about it. This is going to be an extremely hot plant for next year. So if you're into selling as a shop, maybe this is one you want to look at. However, if I could just put up a picture of the second plant, I'm going to call it the Viet for short, because it's going to be a lot easier to say, you may notice this looks a little bit similar. And this concerns me, so I will explain why. So the Bulbasaur is characterized by mint green dominant variegation with very minor hunter green showing through. Often multiple shades of mint green. That's the important part. Similar looking to the second plant. And you can see it's got the hunter green, it's got a mint color, and then it's almost got a creamy color kicking in over the top. Now, the thing I want to draw your attention to, guys, is the second plant, the Viet Truong Sa, also known as the Viet for the sake of this video. My apologies. This plant is so similar, right? And you're probably thinking, yes, great dupe. And that is great. That is great if you're looking for something like that. I don't have every single piece of information in front of me on the prices, but obviously they will be on the screen at the moment as quoted by Pretty in Green. And I think he did collaborate with some others on these prices, but it's not the same. And the Viet is a lot cheaper than the Bulbasaur. And my concern is if somebody is looking to buy Bulbasaur either privately for yourself or for a shop, I'm concerned that somebody somewhere might either knowingly or unknowingly buy the Viet and sell it on as a Bulbasaur. So I want to make you triple aware of the differences between these two plants. It's very important, guys. I genuinely think this plant might cause a few problems. I hesitate to use the word scam. I don't know. I just want you guys to be really careful. The Viet, I do think, is induced. So it's a mutation that's been induced via either TC or it's actually radiation variegation. I can't remember which one it is, but it's fake if you want to call it that. I personally don't. Whereas the Bulbasaur, I think, is a natural mutation from seed, I do believe. So that's something to consider. So the question I want to pose for this video is, are the two different enough in order to purchase one over the other or to make a decision on just get the cheaper one? It's similar enough. Now, on paper, yes, sort of, they are different, but I would personally say no, they are not different enough, depending on how much of a price disparity there ends up being. If the Bulbasaur rockets and the Viet decreases, then I would probably pick the Viet. If they're similar, I don't really know. It's a tough one, to be honest, and it comes down to prestige and, you know, guys, it's the plant world. People that spend a lot of money on these plants, they feel a certain type of way. So as with every choice on here, it is subjective. But personally, if there was such a disparity in price, I would pick the Viet. I wouldn't pick the Bulbasaur. But if you ask me which one I like more, I would tell you it was the Bulbasaur. But cash, guys. A lot of cash for these plants. Running trend. So up next, we have the Monstera Jungle Mint versus the Mint. And this one interests me because, as a few of you may know, I have a Monstera Mint that it's basically, I have a few plants. You may see them off screen, you may not. I think there's one right here. There's a couple anyway across here, and they're all from the same mother. So it turns out, I do believe mine is a jungle mint and not a mint, but we'll get into that. So the regular Monstera mint showcases white and minty green striations consistently present through the leaves. Striations just means like a scratchy type pattern. And it has some blocks of green visible. I believe if there are no blocks of green visible and it's consistent, that is Monstera full mint. So there's me learning something because I wasn't sure if Monstera full mint was the same as white monster. But alas, it is not. It is not. The jungle mint is a little bit different. So we still get like the mint and the hunter green, but we also have seemingly deeper splits in the leaves, and the mint has a couple of different levels to it, I believe. A little bit like the Monstera Bulbasaur that we've just covered. And I have to say mine definitely has that. As for splits in the leaves, honestly, let me just swizzle around in my brand new chair. Splits in the leaves, I mean, yeah, they do go, they do go pretty slim, I've got to say. And I definitely have different levels of mint. A few of you guys in my comments did suggest to me, no, I think you do have the jungle mint, no idea, whatever it is. And it originates from Barry Schwartz over in America. And I checked where this was purchased from. I think I got it in like 2022 or something like that. Turns out it was purchased indirectly through Barry Schwartz. So it makes total sense that it's jungle mint. I just thought it was Monstera Mint, and that's what I've sold it as. So there you go, there's a learning curve for me. Because, guys, the Jungle Mint is worth so much more. Again, I haven't written the full prices, but it's several $1,000s more. That's quite a big jump, to be honest. So in all honesty, are they different enough? In my humble opinion, no, they are not. I'm just gonna call it, guys. That's quite a big disparity in price difference. I don't know if the Jungle Mint is harder to get. I would argue maybe because of the price. I don't know if these prices given to us are because of it's a preferred plant and it's more in demand, or it's harder to get and it's harder to supply. Those are slightly different things. They're not quite the same. But honestly, if you want to mint Monstera, I personally, if you want to save the money, maybe just go for the regular mint. I think if you're a shop and you've got intent to supply, that sounds a bit dodgy, doesn't it? If you've got intent to supply, that again, these are very open-ended decisions anyway. But I just want to let you know, again, there could be some confusion if someone's selling a mint saying it's a jungle mint and vice versa. Every single person, by the way, that's had a mint from my shop has a jungle mint. I didn't realize there was a difference, so I'm just letting you know now. If you've bought any cuttings from me, they are jungle mint and not mint. So there you go. There's an example of a seller selling the wrong thing. I did it. So this one's interesting. This next one's interesting. The next plant I want to talk about is the Monstera. What is it known as now? Yellow Marilyn, or the super orange. Now then, I'm really not sure about this. And I think this is something where we have to be really careful because you can photo manipulate plants to look warmer or cooler. And you can also get different tones of yellow based on light and heat. Okay, so I'm actually going to show you something. Pause for one moment, guys. I want to talk to you very quickly about the sponsor of today's video, which is Squarespace. I've been using Squarespace for around 3 years now, and honestly, I'd never go anywhere else. There's a huge selection of up-to-date templates that are fully customizable to your own branding. Squarespace comes with a really great set of tools to help you with selling on your website, as well as a range of payment options. It's super easy to set up PayPal, Square, Stripe for credit cards, Apple Pay, and in some countries even Afterpay and ClearPay, which basically allows customers to spread out the payments for your products without affecting your plant sales. If you want to create a really sleek looking website, either for yourself or perhaps you're setting up an online business like mine, check out squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, head to squarespace.com/Kaylee Ellen to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. And back to the video. There is a video on YouTube of me in, I think it's like 2019. The video basically where I cut up a Monstera with a saw. I know, weird, but I did. And in that video, you can just make out clips where some of the leaves are a more limey green, some of them are a warmer yellow. What am I getting at? So the Marilyn has been described as a yellow variegated Monstera. I would say behaves more like what we'd know of Monstera aurea, whereby the yellow that comes in can be more of like a greeny toned yellow. Conversely, the super orange, it's a hot orange. Now, my worry is that anyone can heat that yellow up, right, on Photoshop. I'm not saying people can start doing it, I'm just saying anybody can. And one of the images I saw, it might even be the image on the guide of the Monstera super orange, the substrate in the background is very, very warm as well. And I don't know what original color that substrate was. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not accusing someone of manipulating a photo. I'm just saying it makes you think, can other people do this, and just tweak the images. And I'm actually going to show you an example of that probably in the next plant, I think, to show you what I'm talking about. So personally, in this case, I don't think they're different enough because I think the super orange is supposed to be super rare and super hard to get. I couldn't really find many pictures of it. I think this would be another plant that'd be very easy to get confused. And I think for the price difference, do you care? I want to say no. If you've got the conditions to carry a really good regular Monstera aurea, so it doesn't come out a bit limey, then great. Just go for the Marilyn. I have loads of Marilyn in this house, by the way. You just can't see it. They're not down here. There's one in the living room that is reverted, but I think the nodes have some Marilyn in them. And then upstairs, I have some Marilyn cuttings growing out. You will have seen this plant across the years. I think I'll throw up another video now. I think I was repotting it. I've taken a picture of it on my Instagram. That was yellow Marilyn. I didn't realize it was called yellow Marilyn. I was calling it something else at the time. But it's been around a long time, and this isn't a new plant, evidenced by the fact I've had it for ages. But I just think for that difference, maybe not. I honestly think Marilyn will carry enough through. So be very careful there with, I don't want to say photo manipulation, but I guess I kind of am. Just please be very, very careful and do your research and look at a ton of photos. And maybe if you could find the seller that has both plants, they could probably show you the difference between the two leaves, and then you can go, right, okay, that is different. But of course, it's up to you. Right, I'm now going to show you an example of some level of photo manipulation. How dark has it got in here? Is it just me? I've been trying to adjust for this all day and it just keeps going from light to dark and it's really starting to annoy me. So the next plant I want to talk about is 2 different variations of Thai constellation. I didn't know there were that many. This is new to me. This is completely new to me. But there are a few different ones, again, covered in the guide by Pretty and Green. Go and have a look. If you're watching it on PC or whatever, have a click while you're watching this. Get it up on your phone, whatever you want to do. Have a look. There are tons. I did not realize. But I want to talk about today the Thai constellation Legacy, I believe, and the Platinum. Now, I am aware that the Legacy variegation, which I'm showing you on the screen, is a little bit more chunky, okay, than the example given of the Platinum. And I can see there is a difference. However, it wouldn't be very difficult to turn this Legacy into a more Platinum. And if I show you very, very quickly, just the quickest, like 2-minute attempt, just to cool that plant down image-wise and present it as more of a Platinum. No, it's not perfect, but you get my point, okay? I also want to point out that the examples given of these plants here, due to the way that Thai constellation works, due to the way that any variegation works, it's hard to present a standard. It really, really is. And I actually found a listing online of Monstera Legacy that honestly looks very similar to the Monstera Platinum. The image of the Monstera Platinum given does have a teeny bit more chunkiness than what you'd think, and you can sort of see it around the edges of the frame. I found you a Legacy that looks very, very similar. Okay, so again, the Platinum, way more expensive than the Legacy. Surprise, surprise. So I want you to be very, very careful. So, are they different enough? Are they different enough? I think if you are looking at a legitimate version of each plant, say the examples you're looking at really represent the Platinum, they really represent the Legacy. Yes, I think they're different enough because the color of the variegation would therefore be different. It would appear to me that the Legacy is throwing off that Thai cream variegation and the Platinum is throwing more of an elbow. But just be real careful. It doesn't take much, guys. It really doesn't take much. In fact, try it for yourself online. Look for pictures of Monstera Thai Constellation Legacy and the Platinum. You will see what I mean. Some of them, not all, but some of them, there is some crossover where they look a bit similar. So I just wanted to point that out. Personally, they're different enough. I mean, I'm not interested in either plant, so I wouldn't get either. But have your wits about you guys. Be very, very careful out there. I'm not just saying it, guys. These plants are thousands, thousandth. So I want to now go into some plants on this list, and I really didn't delve into it and pick every plant, because again, I want you to go and look at the guide. I want you to go and see Pretty and Green's video, but I just picked off a couple that I thought, hey, this is unique enough. I think these are potentially good sports to have, to collect, to sell, whatever you want. And again, it was a super quick pick, guys. So the first one I actually picked, and I've never seen this before. This was new for me. This is Monstera Masterpiece. And I don't know what that is. It's almost like it's like a creamy variegation. Sorry, I've got a super small picture. I don't know if I can actually enlarge it. Can I click on it on my phone? I've got my phone in front of me. It kind of is like a limey, yellowy, creamy color. And the variegation to me is doing something a little bit different than what normal variegation does. I can't quite put it into words, but you can see what I mean. It is a bit different. So I actually would recommend that one if you're looking for something a bit different next year, you want to sell it, whatever you want to do. I picked that one out. Another plant I picked, and this has been on my wish list for a while, is the Monstera tricolor. It's basically a Thai constellation that has the Thai pattern, but it also has some Aurea variegation. I think it's Monstera tricolor, and it's also known as Monstera miracle. So there's two different names there that it goes by. I love it. I don't know when I'm going to get my hands on it, but I'm very patient to wait. I do think eventually there may be some TC situations coming from it. I think it'll be harder to get a TC version of that, but you never know. TC's probably come on a long way from even when I started, looking into it and stuff like that. But that's a nice one. If you didn't know about it, it's really, really nice. Again, it's mentioned in Pretty and Green's guide. I had to mention the Devil Monster. I don't think it's for me. I don't really like the variegation, and I have a white monster, and to me, that's good enough. That's good enough. It does enough of the things, and it's a little bit more smoother. It's not as harsh looking, but I appreciate some of it's in the morphology and not just the color. But personally, I like my white monster. But I had to mention it because it's all the rage. It's going nuts. Personally, if you want some friendly advice, don't get it now. That's going to be TC at the house because the demand for it is quite insane. Really, I would wait that out for TC. And if you're a shop coming in for TC batches, get in quick. Get them sold as quick as you can, within reason, obviously, because they're just going to drop and drop and drop. We've seen this before. Heads up, I'm going to be talking about this really soon. So I'll not go into it now, but you feel me. Oh, this is another one as well. It's really weird. Can I click on this as well? Oh, I love the way my phone does this. I'm using Notion for my video plan today. I love it. And this one, it's reminding me of something. Is it reminding me of the pattern on it's reminding me of something like Colocasia or something, but this is Monstera Starlight. And what I can see, the pattern across the green is like I don't even know what you'd call that, but it's amazing. And it seems to still have some white and it has some yellow. So it's a little bit like, I'm not sure if this is large or small. I haven't got it on my notes, but of course the guide will tell you everything you need to know. It seems a little bit like the Monstera tricolor or the miracle or whatever, in that it does have yellow variegation and it does have white variegation. But of course, as you can see from this is visually very different. Now, I don't think this is to everybody's taste because of that. Could you call it like a mottled variegation? I'm not sure that's for everybody. But again, I've picked it out because it's quite unique. There are so many more plants in that guide, guys. And no doubt in 2025, we will have so many more things coming out. I think everything in that guide is, or at least a lot of them are registered cultivars now, things like that, like the Oceana Mint, that's in there, that's registered. There's a lot of different things, obviously. The white monster's in there. I think there's like a shamrock shake in there. You name it, it's probably in the guide. So again, the link is in the description for that. But my final words are really just be careful, okay? Be aware of photo manipulation. Be aware of just learning the nuances and the difference in these sports if you care. Because if you don't care and you're not interested, then it doesn't matter. Then it doesn't matter. This is simply for your entertainment. But if you're a seller or you have, let's just say, a large wallet and you want to buy one of these for yourself, make sure you're aware of the differences. You might look in that guide and think, oh, actually, I would prefer something like that. You might see something different to maybe what you had in mind. But I think there'll be some key players next year. Namely, the Devil Monster is going to make its way out into TC. I don't know if it has already. I'm pretty sure it's in production at least. I haven't really kept up with it. The Bulbasaur, that's coming your way. So obviously, because it's got such a growing hype around it right now, that's going to hit CC at some point. So as with everything, guys, it's a waiting game. You do not have to pay these prices. If you're a shop, you do not have to invest in these things. You can keep doing what you're doing and you can wait for these to come down. That is absolutely up to you. It's your prerogative. It's your risk, your reward. But with that said, thank you very much for watching this video. Again, Pretty and Green is down below. Please go and click on his video and please go and look at his guide. In the meantime, as I mentioned before, my wonderful Monstera merch that is just perfect for this video is available in my description through Teespring. And I think that's it. I might only see you once more before Christmas now. So I hope the holidays so far are treating you very well. If you like this video, please leave a like down below. It lets me know that I'm making content that you enjoy. And if you haven't already subscribed, I would love it if you could join us. I will love you and leave you now. I'm going to have a little sip of energy drink and probably feed my cats. Bye, guys.